Hey, it's Kyle here, and today I'll be reviewing Act of Oblivion by Robert Harris. This is a really cool book, kind of a historical fiction genre, and basically explores a historical event I wasn't really that familiar with, but in such a way that it's a fascinating story. So if you're not familiar with it, the Act of Oblivion was an act of the English Parliament to basically bring to justice the individuals involved in the execution of King Charles I during the English Civil War in the mid-1600s. So the idea behind the Act of Oblivion is when King Charles I's son, Charles II, basically reclaimed the throne and reestablished the monarchy in England as kind of a compromise to kind of prevent civil war from just being non-stop. All those that were involved in the Civil War on Cromwell's side were basically pardoned, except for the individuals who were involved in the trial and execution of King Charles I. And so the Act of Oblivion basically said these individuals would be brought to trial and brought to justice. Everybody else was good. So that's basically the setup of what the historical event that triggers the events in this book is. The book itself mainly focuses on three individuals. Two of the individuals were actually members of Cromwell supporters who basically were involved in the trial and execution of King Charles I. And when the monarchies were restored, they realized they're in trouble, and they're snuck out of England and go to America to go into hiding, and basically on the run to try to save their life, because they realize that they're in trouble, and if they get caught, they're probably going to be executed. That is actually based on a real historical event. The character who's made up for this book is the character who basically is employed by the government of England to hunt down those involved in the execution of Charles I and bring them to justice. He's a combination, kind of like a detective, bounty hunter, judge, and executioner. Very fascinating character. And one thing I really love about this book, the author has a foreword before it starts with the story, basically saying, here's the events that actually historically happened. Here's the character that I made up. Although I believe there might have been a character like this, I did not find a historical record of it. So I kind of created this character. But these other individuals I mentioned throughout the book are based on real historical figures. So that's great, because going into it, you already know, like, all right, here's the real people. Here's the people that were made up for the plot point of the storyline. And so the book is kind of a little bit of a detective story, as this one individual is trying to hunt down these people, and the two characters in America as they're on the run and trying to avoid being caught. The thing I really love about this book is there's no good guys, and really there's no true bad guys. The two individuals who are on the run, normally in a story like this, they would be the good guys. They're trying to get away, but no, they did bad stuff. In fact, one of the characters, while he's on the run, really begins to come to grips with the stuff that he did while he was in power that maybe just wasn't really justified, and he really has a lot of guilt about it, and realizing, maybe we weren't right, maybe we were wrong, and maybe we deserve to be punished. At the same time, the individual who's hunting them down has a very good reason why he's so obsessed with bringing people to justice who committed this crime. And basically during the Civil War, he was arrested, and during him being arrested, his wife actually died accidentally, and basically made him obsessed with getting revenge and anybody involved with that. So that really is why he's so obsessed with bringing these individuals to justice. But by doing this, his obsession basically overtakes him. He begins to do evil, horrible acts to bring these individuals to justice. So there's no everybody's good, no everybody's bad. Everybody's kind of in the middle, and they're all doing some good things, and they're all doing some bad things. And at the end, it's up to you to decide, like, who you're rooting for. Do you want these two individuals to be caught, or do you want them to get away from this guy who's obsessed and beginning to do bad things? Robert Harris is a great author. I've read a couple of his books before. My favorite of his is Fatherland. He does a great job developing characters that you become quickly interested in, quickly invested in, and want to read more about. Really love this book a lot. And as somebody who's a history nerd, I also enjoyed reading about an actual historical event that I didn't really know a whole lot about. I'd never heard of the Act of Oblivion before. Obviously, I was familiar with the English Civil War and Oliver Cromwell and the king being executed, but I wasn't really involved with what happened when the monarchy was reestablished and the individuals who were involved in execution, how they were brought to justice. So a very interesting book about a very interesting a dent in history. So I definitely encourage you to check out Act of Oblivion by Robert Harris if you're into history, if you enjoy historical fiction, or if you're just looking for a great story to read. I would say even a mystery book, because this does have a little bit of a mystery element of like, is the guy going to catch the two criminals on the run, I should say. So definitely check this book out. I highly recommend it. If you have yet, please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. If you have yet, please subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate the support. Thanks for watching. I'll see you the next time, and happy reading.